everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a lovely day today. So for today's video, I'm starting out a new project and I'm gonna explain myself a little bit more. So as you guys will have seen by the title, this is my intro to my Pan That Palette project, challenge. I don't know, what do you call it? I don't know what it is. Is it a project? Is it a challenge? I guess it's a bit of both. And basically you're supposed to pick one palette, highlighter palette, eyeshadow palette, that kind of a thing. Any kind of palette basically. But I know most people do eyeshadow palettes. And your goal is that in a year, you're trying to pan as much of the palette as possible. If not empty it, that's the end goal. And I really just want to give this a go because I have so many eyeshadow palettes in my collection at the minute that it's just a little bit overwhelming, but I do love a lot of them and I don't want to get rid of them, and I feel like this kind of a project is a good way for me to get really good use on eyeshadow palettes. So this project for me, sorry if this intro is kind of long, but I feel like it's necessary. So this project for me, I'm starting it on August 15th is when I'm filming this, and I think what I'm going to do is 100% I'm going to go to the end of the year. So 100% I'm going to be doing this until at least December, and then I'll see if I want to roll over into the next year, or I might start again like fresh from January to December with a new palette, or maybe even the same palette. I'm not sure, but I guess we'll just see how we get to that when we get there. But this is my first time doing this kind of a project, so I really want to see how I go first. So I feel like this is a good kind of way to see if I'll be able to use just one eyeshadow palette solely, like, well, not solely because I can use my other eyeshadow palettes as well, but you know what I mean, like really focus on one eyeshadow palette. Because the thing is, I love doing eyeshadow, but I don't very often go out wearing eyeshadow, but I do love eyeshadow, so I don't know why not. But anyway, I feel like I've rambled on enough. Let's get in to this intro and I'll show you guys the palette that I have chosen. So the palette that I have chosen is the Soph X Revolution palette. It is the original palette that she brought out, the 24 eyeshadow palette. So there's a lot of shades in here, and I know that I've picked a very big palette to do this challenge to. Most people pick like the I've seen a lot of people do the Modern Renaissance palette, which I'm not sure how many shades are in that. I think there's like 10 or maybe 12 shades in there. But the reason I picked this palette is because it's the only palette in my eyeshadow palette collection that already has pan. This palette already has pan. I have pan in 2 shades and technically 3 shades because the black one I've scraped some of the eyeshadow off, but yeah. There you are. So technically I have pan in 3 shades, but I've actually hit pan on 2 shades just by using the palette alone. And this is the only eyeshadow palette in my collection that even has pan. And I really do think I will be able to get some good use on this because it's got a lot of different shades in here that I could do a lot of different looks with that hopefully won't get too boring too quickly. That was my goal because there's a lot of oranges, reds, pinks, and then there's also like neutral tones in here that I can use that on the day to day. And yeah, I really do feel like this is a good pick for me. So I actually had to go online and get all the eyeshadow names because I lost the little plastic insert that they used to have. So I've got them all here. So first of all, we have Penguin, which is just literally a white, and it's got some use on it already. I do like to use it to lighten up other shades sometimes, or if I've gone way too harsh with my eyeshadow and I just really want to blend out the edges, the white is really good at just, you know, dimming down that colour a bit, making it look a little bit less pout in your face. I really love it for that. So I think that one I can pan kind of naturally. And I do feel like my goal is going to be to pick 1 or 2 eyeshadows in the palette every single update to like focus on to get pan. So the next shade is Pancakes, and this is a perfect shade for me. I'm gonna pan this naturally because it's pretty much my skin tone shade, so it's really good for having in the crease to blend other shades into, or using it to help blend other shades out. It's perfect, so I think I will pan that naturally anyway. Then we have Fairy Lights, which is basically my inner corner and brow bone highlight. Every time I use this palette, I use that as my inner corner and my brow bone highlight. So I think that one will pan on its own as well. I don't really feel like I'm gonna have to focus that one too much. It actually has quite a big dip in it already, to be fair. Then we have Pink Champagne, which it's definitely going to be a shade that I'm going to have to like focus on, because I never really use like, it's like a very cool toned pink shimmer. It's just not really my vibe. So it's definitely something that I'm going to have to focus on 1 month, but yeah, we'll just see how we go with that one. Then we have Iced Coffee, and again, this is a shade that I will pan naturally. I don't feel like I'm gonna have to work too hard to pan this. I already have a lot of progress on it anyway, and it's like it's definitely a crease shade for me, or like an all over lid shade, and then I would have to deepen up like my outer corner or something. So I think I'll get a lot of use out of that on its own. I don't think it's one that I'm necessarily gonna have to focus on. Then we have Cup of Tea, which I just love that name. And again, I also have use on this, like a fair amount of use. I do think it is a shade that I will use naturally, but it still is a shade that I'll probably have to focus on 1 month just to, you know, get to pan. Then we have Grow Old, which is a very nice shimmery bronzy copper shade sort of. And I don't often use shimmers on my eyes anymore. I'm much more of a matte eyeshadow kind of a girl. But I do think out of most of the shimmers, that is probably one that I'm not going to struggle to use. Then we have Sparks Fly, which is much more of like a gold toned shimmer, and I'm definitely gonna have to focus on this one 1 month, because I never really wear golds. I'm much more of a copper kind of shimmery eyeshadow kind of a girl, so yeah. Then we have Smoky Bronze. I think I haven't used this shade yet. I do think I will use this when I want to do something a little bit more dark and like sultry kind of a look. I think that would look gorgeous. Just to kind of open the eye up a little bit but still keep that like deep dark effect. I think that would look lovely. Then we have Mixed Berries, which is a purple shimmer. I'm not sure how much use I'm going to get on this. I will have to focus it 1 month. I don't really feel like it goes very well with this palette, I can't lie, but I will try and use it as much as I can, but it is definitely one that I'm going to have to focus on. Then we have Tiramisu, which is one of the shades that I already have pan on anyway, and yeah, you can see I use this shade a lot, so definitely not one that I'm going to struggle to use. Then we have Peaches, which I have used, but just not very much. I do really like the shade, and I don't often wear like peachy coloured eyeshadows, so it is one that I will have to like focus on 1 month, but I don't think I will struggle with it. Like, I don't think it will bore me to use it, and it is a shade that I do think I will reach for. Then we have Cloudberry that I actually have on my eyes today. It's so pretty. I've made quite a lot of progress on it just in the few times that I've used it anyway, and it's an orange, but it has like a little bit of like shimmer going through it. I have it all over my lid today, and I just think it looks beautiful because there's not a ton of shimmer in it, but when the light catches, there's like just some little sparkly bits, and I think it looks beautiful. So I really love that shade, and at the minute, whilst it's warm and stuff, it, you know, it's summery and it looks like, you know, bright and colourful. Are these shades the wrong way around? I feel like these shades are the wrong way around. I'm not sure. I feel like these shades are the wrong way around. Then I have Pumpkin that looks more of a red, so I think them shades need to swap. I'll have to double check that, but anyway, I'm gonna call it Pumpkin for now. So then we have Pumpkin that is like it's like a reddy orangey type matte, and it's definitely a shade I'm gonna have to like focus on 1 month, because I don't often wear red eyeshadow, like I just don't, but hopefully I get some use on it, and hopefully we can see some pan at some point. Then we have Pine Tree, which is like a deep dark green shimmer. Not really something that I would reach for very often, but I do think it would look very pretty as a shimmer on the eyes. Then we also have Petrol, which again, not really something I would wear, but I think with like a dark smoky eye, this could look really nice, just to brighten up the inner corner just a tiny bit. I think this would look really nice. Then we have Pug that I already have some use on. It's quite a cool toned shade, and I do really like it, to be honest, but it's not one that I reach for all the time, but I do think it's something that will eventually just get used up on its own. When I want a cool toned look, that is one shade that I 100% will reach for. So then we have Danger, which again, I have it on my eyes today. That is how I created my wings. And I love this shade for wings. Like, I just feel like, I don't know, like it adds a little something, like a little bit of colour, and it's a little bit different. I really, really like it. I've been using it a lot as a wing lately. So I don't think it would take me long to hit pan on it, but I do think it is also a shade that I will have to like focus on 1 month. Then we have Strawberry Sweets, which is a beautiful like pinky shade, but it's not too bright. I think it's beautiful. I think it would look nice as just like an inner corner shade. I've seen loads of people do this, and I think that that would look beautiful there, so I might experiment with that a little bit. And I do think it is a shade I will be able to use, but it's definitely a shade that I also am gonna have to like focus on 1 month. Then we have Festive Flame, which is like a reddy shimmer shade, and I think it will look beautiful around like Christmas time. Then we have Copper Coin, and again, I think this would look beautiful like any kind of a time. Like, I think it would look beautiful like if you have like a warm toned eyeshadow look and then just whack that all over the lid. I think it would look beautiful. Then we have Mug Cake, which already has a pretty big dip in it. As you can see, I pretty much use this for wing liner a lot. So that shade shouldn't struggle to hit pan. I'm very close to hitting pan on that shade anyway, so shouldn't take too long. Then we have Rosewood, which again, I already have pan on this. I also use this for wing liner, so I don't think it would take me a long time to expand that pan and, you know, use it up maybe eventually. And then the shade that I'm most nervous about is Nightmare, which is obviously the black. I've never used this shade. I've swatched it, clearly. I've never used it. I just don't really use black eyeshadows all that often. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we're going to go with that. Maybe I can use it to deepen up an eyeshadow look. I don't know. Blacks in eyeshadows just scare me. I don't often use them. So I guess this is going to really push me to try and use that shade a little bit. So those are all of the shades, and I'm so excited to start this project. Like, I'm just excited. So I'm going to set myself a goal of, I think I want to target 2 eyeshadows. So the first one that I really want to target is, I believe it's Tiramisu, which is a shade that I already have pan on. So it's this shade here, which I have a little baby pan on, and I really want to just expand that pan. I want to start the palette looking like I'm panning it, if that makes sense. So I feel like that's a good shade to start on and just expand that pan, make it look like I'm really using it. And then I think as well as that one, I'm gonna focus on Mug Cake, which is this brown here. Obviously, I'm super close to hitting pan on that already, so it would be nice to at least hit pan on that. So I think those are the 2 shades that I'm going to focus on, but of course I'm going to try and use the whole palette as much as I can. So this is going to be exciting because I don't really use eyeshadow that often, and I think this project will push me to use eyeshadow a little bit more, and, you know, hopefully I can pan an eyeshadow palette. That would be really, really cool. So I think what my goal is going to be, so I think when I'm going to call this palette done is either, depending on how I feel at the end of the year, it's either going to be when I've used up at least half of the shades in the palette. So when I've got 12 shades that are pretty much unusable, I think I'm going to call this palette done. I feel like that's fair. Revolution is a very affordable brand anyway, and obviously I'm never going to finish every single shade in here, because once I've started to finish off, like once I've finished pretty much 12 of the shades, a lot of the other shades I'm going to need to go into other palettes to use anyway. So I think once I get to that point, I think I will just call this done. Maybe I'll take the eyeshadows out and put them in like a magnetic pan or something, I don't know. But yeah, I think my goal is going to be to at least hit pan on every single shade. I really want to hit pan on every single shade before like I even think about calling this palette done. But I think once I've got to a point where at least 12 of the shades aren't usable anymore, that's when I'm going to say that the challenge is done and pick a new eyeshadow palette. So let me know if you guys are excited for this, because I really am. Like, I've been waiting to film this video, and I think this is a good time to start with this. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys are doing anything like this yourself. I would love to know if you have a channel yourself. Please let me know, because I've been following a lot of people that are doing this, and I don't know, I'm just excited to get into it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, because that really does help me out. Don't forget to subscribe before you click on out of this video, so that you never miss an update, and also so that you never miss when I post a new video every Monday and Saturday. And with all that being said, I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.